joining me today. I'm going to be talking about my joining of the Affinity Space with the Art of Education. So a little background information. I've been an art teacher now at the secondary level for 7 years, and I was really enthused when I read all the articles about the possibilities of how game design could really connect with this new generation of learners and how powerful the learning is. So I wanted to set out and try to find any information I could about, are there games out there for art teachers? Are there not? And so I set out to find a space to join. So the space, the National Art Education Association, has been around for many years, and they're a space for educators to find information about many things that surround being an art teacher. They're kind of the classic standard. And then there's also the Art of Education. After some research, I found that the Art of Education was definitely going to be the one. So the Art of Education, they have a very current group of writers and people who are active in the community to bring information together, and I was very taken by just the setup of their whole community. The community itself, just like-minded people. We have silly art teachers and passionate art teachers, people who want to learn and just to better their craft. So I found this closely associated with Guy and Hayes. And furthermore, on their website, this is just an example of one of the pages where you can see all the different courses and subtopics that they have for art teachers to adhere to. And I, again, after reading Guy and Hayes, I saw that they had specialists and broad general knowledge, and they're encouraged to pull it together for the ease of the participants. So, and one thing that I would like to highlight is that there was no fee for me, so that was great, because the NAEA wanted to charge you an annual fee, and I didn't really feel like paying for that. So I joined, and when I did join, I found all of these resources for games. I talked about some of my explorations and trying to find game instruction in the art classroom, and most of my research came up with are video games an art form, and not really talking about gaming instruction. So I was really relieved and happy to find some resources with games and instruction and how they could be implemented in the class. So I was really happy to find that, and I started to dive in. So within the group that I had, there was 3 different ways to communicate. There was the website, which anytime you went on to the website, theartofeducation.com, a little facilitator would pop up, and any question that you had, you just type it in, and she would point you into the right directions. Then within the articles, or the pages themselves that you would find, you could find discussion boards from articles that had been presented, and people would talk back and forth through there. And the only thing that was necessary was to just make an account. You didn't have to pay any money, they just wanted your email. And the email was actually really nice because they kept you updated with articles constantly. And lastly but not leastly, their Twitter feed. They have at the Art of Ed, and people were sharing their work there, and also ideas as well. So after reading and observing and seeing how everyone was communicating, I was kind of figuring out how people went about talking to one another, what was appropriate, was not. And there was, like I said, there was some information about game design as far as instructional strategies within the class, but there was also a lot of information about just technology and other issues. And I found one article that I really liked. It was about STEAM education, and I decided to discuss. I decided to start it out. It was a very recent article, and I thought to myself, hey, this is a perfect opportunity. And I posted a comment, and unfortunately, I'm still waiting for a response. It's been over a week now since I've done that, and I was a little discouraged. So I thought to myself, I know teachers are busy, and maybe there's not as many people on this forum. So I thought to myself, I'm going to try the old-fashioned way. I'm going to connect via email. And I reached out via email, tried to get some information about game design, and I was within half a day quickly responded to, and it was awesome. So the email was a great way for me to connect and to learn about what I needed to learn. So then I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm going to try to talk on the Twitter feed now and see what was open for me. So I went to the Twitter feed, and with their Twitter feed, they have a lot of offerings of teachers presenting their work, their students' work, and posing questions in general. So I was interested in the Twitter feed. I follow it, and they keep up daily. So with the Twitter feed, because I wanted to continue to try to find anything that I could find out about games in the classroom for art teachers, I posted my picture, my question, and unfortunately I still have not heard back from anyone about that. The Twitter, what I quickly learned after watching Twitter was I went through the histories of the message boards, and I saw that people do post, but the discussions themselves are a little lacking. So a little discouraged about the gaming, but I thought maybe because I had not heard much about game design in the art classroom, I thought to offer more of a broad question about technology in the art classroom, and I posted a question, and I was quickly answered by one of our fellow ILT students. It was great. We talked at length. It was through the website, but again, the games did not come through. So it was good to talk to another ILT student. The strengths within this Affinity Space, which I have really, after reflection, figured out, is that there are many different things to learn and ways to interact with the community, and opportunities to connect with fellow art teachers of all levels. I did like how this space had the ability to talk to elementary teachers, middle school, and high school. The information that I was sent from facilitator was awesome. It was really helpful, and they were very helpful if I wanted to learn more from what I had. And from what the facilitator had sent to me, I quickly came to the realization that most of the games that I saw were for elementary design. However, their overall construction and how they use physical games and activities rather than digital games was something that I'm definitely going to try to build off on within my own curriculum. So that was really informative for me. I really liked the way that they used their knowledge, and people could point you into different directions. Another point for Guy and Hayes is points of Affinity Space. So when it comes to limitations, one of the things that I am noticing with my limitations is the community itself. I know my colleagues who I work with, it's half older veteran teachers and half younger teachers, and many of them are a little bit technology adverse. They do not like to use it, so I could understand that it is going to be something to run up against. However, I think it's something that there is information to find. So, and lastly, like I said, learning that a physical type of game is going to be the best way. So, learning was really awesome in this way. I've never learned in a way where you are set out to find your own information, and within this information, find your own answers, talk to sources, and then to gather that information that you do have, and then sit back and reflect upon what you have learned. I've never had to do this before. It was awesome. It was a little uneasy at times, but it was great. I kind of felt like a detective going out trying to find the answers to my questions, and I did really enjoy it. So after reflecting on all the information I found out and lacked the information that I found out about gaming design within the art classroom, it led me to kind of an aha moment. And my knowledge and experience that I've gained through the class and through the ILT program, I've realized that I can pool this with some of my experience that I have already, and hopefully maybe I would be very interested in contacting the job hiring people at the Art of Education and talk to them about developing either articles or some type of class for game design in the art ed field. I think it would be awesome to do, and I think that other teachers out there, hopefully they exist like me, who are art teachers, would be able to benefit from this type of information.